I tried to get my father's war medals appraised, and the dealer accused me of theft. The shop was empty, except for a gray-bearded man behind the counter polishing an old helmet, and he barely looked up when I walked in carrying my father's shadow box. I need these medals appraised for insurance, I said, setting the box down between us. They belong to my father. He passed away last month. The dealer glanced at the medals pinned to the velvet, and his polishing hand went still. He looked at me, then back at the medals, then at me again with a look that made my skin crawl. Where did you get these? His voice had changed completely. I just told you. They were my father's. He set down the helmet and stood up slowly, and I noticed for the first time how big he was. Stay right there, he said, walking past me to the front door. He flipped the sign to closed and turned the lock. What are you doing? I asked. Sit down. He pointed to a chair by his workbench. We're going to have a talk about what you just brought into my shop, and you're going to tell me the truth. He carried the shadow box to his workbench like it was dirty and pulled out a magnifying glass, his jaw tight as he looked over the first medal. Where did your father serve? He asked without looking up. Vietnam, 1968 to 1970. He made a sound in his throat that wasn't quite a laugh. Infantry? Yes, sir. What unit? My mouth went dry because I didn't actually know. My father never said a unit. Just Vietnam. Just stories about the jungle and the fear and the things he saw. I don't remember, I said. The dealer flipped the bronze star over and pointed at tiny numbers carved into the metal. Every medal given out by the military has a serial number. I can trace exactly who this belonged to. He pulled out a binder thick as a phone book and started flipping through the pages. You know what I did for 30 years before I opened this shop? No, sir. Military police. I looked into crimes. He stopped on a page and ran his finger down a column of numbers. I spent half my career tracking down stolen valor cases. Guys who wore medals they didn't earn, told stories about battles they never fought. He looked up at me and his eyes were cold. I can spot a fake from across the room. My hands were shaking as I watched him check the serial numbers one by one, his face getting darker with each medal he looked at. This Purple Heart, he said quietly, holding it up to the light, was given to Corporal William Danes after he died. He was 19 years old when he bled out waiting for a rescue helicopter that came 6 minutes too late. He set it down gently, almost like it was something holy. This silver star belonged to Sergeant Robert Turner, 23 years old. His own squad leader made the call that got him killed, and then that same leader offed himself 2 weeks later. I felt sick. Why are you telling me this? Because someone needs to remember them. He picked up the bronze star, and his voice dropped even lower. Private James Whitfield, 19. He threw himself on a grenade to save 3 other boys who got to go home to their families. The dealer set all 3 medals in a row in front of him like proof at a trial. 3 different soldiers, 3 different units, 3 different years. He looked up at me. You want to explain how your father earned medals from 3 separate dead men? I couldn't breathe. I don't understand what you're saying. Your father's name. Tell me again, I told him. He typed it into his computer, and I watched his face as he scrolled through whatever he was reading. Then he turned the screen toward me, and I saw nothing. No proof my father had ever worn a uniform in his life. There's no one by that name in any branch, any year, any war. The dealer's voice was almost soft now, and somehow that was worse. Your father was never a soldier. He just played one for attention. I thought about his funeral last month, where real soldiers folded a flag for a man who never earned it. I left the medals on his workbench. Find their families, I said. Tell them the truth. The dealer nodded and unlocked the door. I walked out into the daylight, already rehearsing how to tell my mother that the hero she married never existed.